going into Around the World.
Come dance all around the world.
Where we go through all the other stuff that happened around the world this week, unless it was a major event that we want to mention at the start of the show. But besides that, all right, let's get into it. So, U.S. national debt top $38 trillion.
$38 trillion.
38 trillion. Yeah, just for those who get all up in arms about our fucking debt.
Right?
The gross U.S. national debt has passed 38 trillion. So that's gross, that's not net, but we'll get into net later. It's not much different for the first time, which works out to roughly 111,000 per person in the United States. The Trump administration is currently running very high borrowing whilst also cutting taxes, tariffs, favored for sectors and funding. For favored sectors and funding expanded military security operations abroad. Sounds like another government I know of.
Mm-hmm.
This is now the fastest accumulation of $1 trillion outside of the pandemic. The USA government is in the 27th day of its shutdown. In one more week, it will be the same as the prior longest shutdown of 34 days back in 2018. Again, that was under Trump. So if it goes on for another week, they've beat their record, or at least matched it. Just a couple of figures to compare to the US. So US net debt is $37.64 trillion versus a $30.49 trillion GDP, which makes GDP per capita roughly 123%, which is insane. So those who don't know how those figures work, essentially that means 100% of their GDP in 1 year, they would still, if 100% of their GDP in 1 year went towards paying off their debt, they would still not pay it off. They would still need another 23% of an annual GDP to pay it off.
Jesus.
So, yeah. So this is close to countries like UK, Italy, France, although none of those are really as high. USA is somewhere in the top 10 highest percent of GDP rankings. Japan, by the way, is somewhere around 235% of its GDP.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the highest in Japan, which is insane. New Zealand's net debt, in comparison, is 182.17 billion versus 435 billion GDP, which puts us around roughly 41.8% GDP per capita. That makes us closer to countries like South Korea, Latvia, Australia, Netherlands, Sweden, Czechia, Ireland. So all countries that I think do relatively well. I think I think Luxon likes Latvia, doesn't he? No, it's Estonia. Don't worry.
No, yeah, Estonia.
I mean, but I don't see anyone talking about South Korea's economy going the shit, So, look, but that just puts it in comparison how not critical our fucking debt is,
Oh, absolutely.
It's just like we could borrow more if we needed.
It's been overhyped for sure.
Absolutely. Like we're nowhere like near as bad as most of the other countries. We're somewhere below like the bottom half. I don't know exactly where, but yeah, we're not. Things aren't that bad, and I feel like a lot of the time people don't understand debt too well anyway. That might be an interesting thing to like do a bit more of a deep dive on how national debt works, because a lot of the time people treat it like it's personal debt, individual debt, and they're like, our kids are gonna have to pay this off in X amount of years, and it's like no one's gonna have to like just come around collecting a fucking bill in like 30 years for your children. It's not exactly how it works, but anyway, I digress. But speaking of Trump, again, Trump ends all Canada trade talks over fake tariff ad, or alleged fake tariff ad.
Fake news.
Fake news. On the 24th, Trump announced that the U.S. is terminating all trade negotiations with Canada after a television advertisement funded by Ontario was aired in the US. The ad quoted Ronald Reagan speaking critically about tariffs in 1987. Trump labeled the ad as fake and accused Canada of trying to interfere with an upcoming US Supreme Court case about the legality of his tariff program, which, by the way, this is the man who's currently trying to sway Argentinian elections by threatening, by holding hostage essentially the money he's going to give to stop their economy from tanking. And he's threatening invasion of Venezuela. So like, fucking got no room to talk about interference, foreign interference. The Reagan Foundation said Ontario did not get permission to use the edited clips, and that the ad misrepresented Reagan's original message, which actually supported free but fair trade, but under certain tariff conditions. I didn't actually look into that. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Yeah, but anyway, they've suspended it. And the US has imposed steep tariffs on Canada imports, steel, aluminium, cars, early in 2025. Yeah.
Oh, that's very good for the Canada-US relationship. That's definitely very good. And not
I know.
bad.
Oh, is this one you added?
Yes,
next?
I did add this one. It just felt like it was the right spot to put it.
Okay.
So
No, that's fair.
I just figured we'd quickly have a look at this one, because this one just came across when I was on my phone earlier today. So the US government will be stop paying for food aid. So I'm sure we've all heard of the SNAP program. That's their thing. Obviously, because of the government shutdown, unfortunately, they are going to stop in November. And I tried to look. I was like, oh, has this ever happened before? Like, is this kind of a normal thing? There has been there's been no event like this before. This would be the first time that there was essentially a complete stop to the SNAP program since its inception, which is obviously pretty fucking horrible given everything that America's going through. Obviously, they did have in the last shutdown that Trump did, which was obviously the 35-day one, SNAP did remain funded because the USDA used a contingency fund to continue that, but the USDA has stated that the contingency fund cannot be used to cover benefits in this situation unless certain legal conditions are met. So yeah, a lot of states are telling recipients that October benefits will be paid, but November benefits will be suspended until federal funding is restored.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a
I
shitty
wouldn't be
one.
shocked if that was somehow a part of like the disputes in the funding that was going to go on with that caused the current shutdown. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, and it's just, again, obviously they're doing kind of what our government's doing here. They're going, oh, Labour bad, it's their fault, because it's their fault. Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
Oh, by the way, Ronald Reagan appears to have joined us. He escaped the US about 5 years ago. He's still alive.
Oh, Reagan. I know Reagan. I know Reagan. You've seen Reagan. They've been
No,
at the
this is Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
That's a different Reagan.
To be fair, Reagan escaped
Listen
like in the
here,
US.
fellow
I don't know if they want to be. I don't know if they want to be Ronald. Who wants to be Ronald?
Yeah, exactly. Deadly highway crash in Uganda. A collision involving two buses and other vehicles in the Kampala-Gulu highway killed at least dozens of people in Uganda on the 22nd. Police first put the toll at 63 deaths, later revising it to at least 46 after discovering some initially counted dead were still alive but unconscious. So lucky them, I suppose. I hope they're okay, apart from the unconsciousness side of things. Police say both buses were overtaken at the same time, causing a head-on impact and a chain reaction, which apparently had other vehicles involved. Yeah. So apparently this is a big issue over there. Road deaths in Uganda are rising. More than 5,000 fatalities were recorded in 2024. With speedy and risky overtakes as a major factor. I got some figures for comparison just to put that into perspective. New Zealand, which apparently we have among the higher rates in the developed world in terms of car crashes, so ours are fairly bad. We have about 6.5 to 7 deaths per 100,000 people per year. Australia, quite a bit less, is 4.2 per 100,000 people. Uganda, roughly 12 deaths per 100,000 people.
Fuck.
Yeah, so almost double, and we're already considered bad. So
Jesus.
yeah. apparently this is a bit of a systemic issue, and goes further into our next story we're going to cover, which is a fuel tanker explosion that killed dozens
From one
in
melted
Nigeria.
item to another.
I know.
Holy shit.
In Nigeria, a petrol tanker crash and explosion killed at least 35 people and injured dozens more. Explosions like this are common because fuel is frequently moved a long distance by road, and crowds sometimes gather to siphon leaking fuel before it ignites.
Wait, it's already leaking?
Yeah. So I guess it's just like leaking out the truck, and because it's like liquid gold, so these locals go.
I mean, I don't blame them
They're
for
impoverished,
fucking...
they're going to sell this later on, make some money, get some food. I don't think they need the fuel necessarily. They're just I will
I mean,
sell
it's
this.
like if you saw money falling off a truck.
Exactly. Yeah, with dozens killed in both incidents, like both these incidents, the one in Uganda and Nigeria, within 24 hours in these countries. These events are not weird one-offs. They're a part of a steady pattern of preventable mass death incidents in much of the global south that get almost no international coverage, unless the number is shocking. I mean, these numbers are shocking, but I guess in comparison to a lot of what goes on there, they're not considered that shocking. So, if the 46 people plus died in a car crash in Auckland, bus crash, whatever, it would bleed for a week, Whereas in Uganda, it's like, anyway, in other news, so...
It's horrible.
Yeah, this highlights chronic safety failures, poor road enforcement, aging fleets, all that stuff. So, yeah, systemic issue, really.
Yeah.
And these, so I got some, the next three are kind of breaking. These actually came out today, but I thought just they all worked into each other. So, Parliament in Djibouti voted to remove its age restriction for presidential candidates. Their 77-year-old president is most likely seeking re-election in 2026. I know. Somehow they are not getting the message that the new generations are sick of ancient old farts leading them into an apocalypse.
Wait, so if they're removing the age restriction, is it only the cap at the top, or does that technically
so
mean
it was
bottom?
Oh, yeah. No,
I'm wondering, does that mean like a 16-year-old?
I did not look into it, but last I checked, it was a cap on top they removed, as far as I'm aware. It was at 65.
Okay. I was wondering if it was like no age limit.
I haven't actually looked into the specifics of it, so maybe, but their previous cap was 75, and I'm not sure if they put a new cap on that or just removed the restrictions altogether. But it would prevent this guy from rerunning, which makes it pretty likely that he's probably gonna bid for re-election. I mean, he looks happy, so moving on, Ivory Coast candidate Bilon, I think is how you pronounce it, concedes as partial results favor Ouattara, I think is how you'd probably say that. Who is their current president, I believe. The country awaits the final presidential election result that could see their 83-year-old president sworn in for a fourth term.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. So Ivory Coast is also getting another old guy for fucking who knows how. He's going to be there till he dies, I assume, this one too. Which takes us into our next story. 4 protesters have been killed in Cameroon. This comes after hundreds of supporters protest in opposition of their 92-year-old president, accusing him of seeking to rig elections.
Jesus Christ!
All these 3 came out today. These stories,
oh my God.
And it's like they all met. Like, because after I saw that first, I was like, I wonder how old these other 2 people are. And I checked. I was like, they just keep getting older. So
yeah, I thought they might stay. I think, but
we thought 77 was bad.
Right.
92-year-old.
Like nearly 80?
Like, that's getting towards world records there. Like, 90. I wish I could make it to 92.
It's a world record for the age of, like, a fucking...
I don't know.
Later, though. Actually...
no.
Hey, Rajan, do you want to look up what the
someone
oldest...
confirm that.
Rajan, you do it. I'm making you do
it. But ladies, gentlemen, anyone outside or in between, we will eternally be stuck in this old, out-of-touch leader cycle as the global system burns before our eyes. Pray for me. Pray for you. Pray for your family.
Mm-hmm. They're holding on with their dying grip. They're just like, no!
Make it stop.
I will ruin everything before I leave.
Oh,
How
my
dare I
goodness.
try to actually set up the children of the future and all that fucking jazz.
I don't know.
Although I
Anyway.
guess we're going into the future now a little bit.
Let's go into the future of more Thatcherism. So, following up from our previous two reports on Japan's potential first ever prime minister, woman prime minister, it's happened. Japan did get their first ever woman prime minister. Japan's parliament has confirmed that Sanae Takaichi as prime minister, Japan's first female PM in history. She's a hardline conservative aligned with the late Shinzo Abe and the national wing of the Liberal Democratic Party. She took office after the LPD party cut a last-minute deal with the right-wing Japan Innovation Party. Despite bringing them 11 more seats in the lower house, the new coalition is still 2 seats short of a majority. So she's still going to have to do a little bit of work to make sure she gets things her way, I suppose. So yeah, it actually turned out that that party that said fuck you, we're done with you, I guess, it worked out because they got 11 more seats with the new coalition they formed. So yeah, it did work out in their favor. She's prioritizing defense build-up and a tougher China/North Korea line, not feminist reform, so make sure to note that. She does not give a shit about any of that crap. She describes herself, by the way, for those who may have missed our previous reports, as the Thatcher of Japan. So that gives you an idea of what she's going to be going for.
Progress, people. We got a woman, but she's a fascist. So
yeah, very she's probably Atlas connected, honestly.
Honestly, I wouldn't fucking be surprised at this point.
Neoliberal shit, that's what you're looking at. That's what
Yeah,
Thatcher
they
was. She was in my Atlas thing. But yeah, cabinet has had only 2 women so far, despite her promising Nordic-style gender balance. She's hawkish on defense, skeptical of LGBTQ rights and same-sex marriage. Oh, and I added this. I added this at the end, just as those news stories. Also, she's 64, so not a young one either. So.
But also, that's a lot younger.
It is younger than 92.
Well, even like a lot of like leaders, they're often like in their fucking 70s. Because actually, Scruffador had a really good question of how does it compare to our oldest prime minister, which I went and Googled. Okay. Our oldest was only 75.
All right.
So, like, we've done pretty good. Also, Rajan checked, and it was 92. 92 appears to be the highest. So, fuck.
So that guy in Cameroon is going for the record year on year.
Yeah.
He's 92. If he lives another year, he gets the record. Keeps getting it every year he's alive.
If he could get to 100 and he breaks the record as well as getting the, like, I guess it's King's birthday card now, but, you know.
Gets a special prize.
Just got a little card.
Congratulations, you're a 100-year-old dictator. You get a prize.
But also, I did agree with Scruff as well. At 92, why the fuck would you still want to work?
I don't know.
Hey, get a hobby. Get a fucking hobby, bro. Like, go fishing.
It could mean a couple of things. Either A, he's a puppet of someone else, or B, he's done so much fucked up shit that if he gets out of power, he's fucked. So it's probably one of those 2 things.
Yeah, and I think Rajan's onto it a bit there, is that if we were to have the first female president, honestly, probably would be a Republican, because...
How old was the Queen? I think she was in her late 80s.
Oh, yes, she was old. Like, old. Anywho.
Yeah. China overtakes the US as Germany's largest trading partner. Again, this partly reverses last year's moment where the US briefly edged ahead. US tariffs under Trump cut German exports to the US, cars, machinery, chemicals, whilst German imports from China rose roughly 8%. So, lol, it's kind of Trump's fault. Shot himself in the foot there a bit. So.
Good job, bro.
Yeah, and good job, Trump. But he's probably sitting there going, fuck you guys, you trade more with China than you do with us. Horrible allies. German officials stressed the need to rethink the country's approach to China, whilst the foreign minister postponed his visit to Beijing. The delay comes amid concerns about China's export limits on rare earths and semiconductors, which, I don't know, I still think they'd be a more reliable and trustworthy partner than the USA, in my opinion. So,
I mean, I would be inclined to agree.
I would say go for it, you know?
China,
for all their faults, at least seems like long-term thinkers. If you give them anything. So, yep. Anyway.
All right.
So Myanmar mass arrests at scam compound. So Myanmar did good. I guess even a fascist clock needs to be right twice a day, you know? So
yeah, and I mean, we need to get rid of as many of these scam fucking hubs as possible.
Yep. So Myanmar's military raided what's known as KK Park, a notorious cyber scam hub near the Thai border, and claims it detained more than 2,000 people linked to online fraud, gambling, and cross-border scam operations. State media says the army also seized dozens of Starlink satellite internet terminals used to keep the scam mills online. So thanks, Elon, funding scams and shit. Fucking. Also, they're probably just going to use this themselves for their own, I don't know, probably reverse engineer the technology or some shit, try and hack Starlink, I don't fucking know. I'm sure this probably has a benefit to them seizing these things. Rights groups note that the junta is also using anti-fraud race to boost its image whilst continuing arbitrary detentions, torture, and airstrikes elsewhere. So essentially, it's just a smoke screen to sort of appease foreign powers, make it look like they're doing good. This also, by the way, follows reports of 24 killed and dozens more injured in a military bombing at the Buddhist festival only weeks ago that we reported on. Just thought I'd remind everyone of that too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, remember it was like a Buddhist peace festival and they bombed it with like a fucking glider.
It's fucking right? Oh my god. Oh, man. Why is the world so ugly?
I don't know, but I like how everything just sort of comes back. And I'm like, hey, I can reference old things we reported.
I know, right? But I kind of hate that at the same time. I'd rather it not be all connected.
All right.
All right, we're going to the next one?
Yep. So the US and UN have sanctioned high-profile Haitian gang figures. So not the country itself, but like people, I'll get into it. Included are former presidential security chief Dimitri Herard, who apparently escaped prison at some point, and Kepsim Sanon, a powerful Port-au-Prince, I believe is...
Yeah, Port-au-Prince.
Port-au-Prince gang boss. Both are accused of arming, extorting civilians, and backing the Viv Ansam gang coalition, which now controls most of Haiti's capital. Yeah. So, well, because remember, there's about half their population's on the verge of starvation. We reported that weeks ago as well.
That's right.
Yeah, so this is probably not going to help.
No.
Because as we know, these sort of sanctions like this just wind up fucking end up hurting the population because the people sanctioned are just sort of like, well, I'm just gonna exploit the people under me and use that to keep myself at bay, and you guys can all fucking starve and lose your shit. But sanctions include global asset freezes, travel bans, and expanded arms embargo aimed at choking off weapons that keep gangs dominant. I wish it kept them dormant.
Right.
Here, we'll give you these weapons and you guys do nothing. Oh, okay. Haiti's gang coalition are now effectively a rival state actors in parts of the country, and more than 1.3 million people are displaced. Haiti is basically living through a slow motion state failure, and the rest of the hemisphere is just pretending this is just crime, Yeah, it's just some crime and stuff, It's not like, the fucking society's crumbling beneath them and, half the population starving. And
are we really surprised that people don't give a shit about people of color who are going through horrific things?
Yep.
Unfortunately.
It's all their fault. It's all their fault. They shouldn't have voted for the gangs.
They should be like, if they were more civilized, they'd be all blah, blah, blah fucking... All right, speaking of...
Yeah. Well, I just love this pic. Look how fucking tall he is.
I was actually... I was zooming in before while you were talking, because I was just like, What the?
I know.
Like,
Is he
I didn't realize
just
bro
really
was tall.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
or
it's
maybe
a
it's just a
tiny
really
door.
short door. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, Israel, the Israeli parliament, known as Knesset, I think, advanced a symbolic vote related to annexing parts of the occupied West Bank. So they were moving in. They were making a move to occupy Palestine further. However, a good job, I guess, for the USA for once. The US publicly dismissed it, restating that annexation is not recognized and would violate international law.
Wow,
I
that
know.
surprises me.
I know. So, fucking
Yay
weird
for
move.
the tiniest silver lining.
Although it's very hypocritical, as we're going to see with some of the shit we're going to report on soon, how hypocritical this whole international law shit is. But this follows recent multiple reports of violations in the recent ceasefire. Israel said they responded to some anti-tank missiles and gunfire that killed 2 Israeli soldiers. Israel has halted humanitarian aid to Gaza in response to what it claimed were ceasefire violations by Hamas. Gaza's government media office claims about 40 separate violations on the Israeli side, resulting in 38 Palestinians killed and 143 wounded. Continued shelling / gunfire despite truce. Human rights monitoring groups estimate roughly 80 violations overall by Israeli forces. One of the deadliest incidents included an Israeli shelling of a Palestinian family in a vehicle in Gaza City after the vehicle allegedly crossed a yellow line.
Oh, fuck off.
They shouldn't have done that, you know? Which had
Eat
a
my
death
ass.
toll of 11, including 7 children.
Ah!
So-
Ah!
But at least they're not taking more of Palestine. Yay.
Yet. I mean,
Yeah.
what?
I'm sure they'll just fucking convince them to do it later on. Like, can we do it
I'm
now?
sure Israel will finally they'll do a full 180. They'll stop being who they are and they'll be the nice guys that the friends that we supposedly have on both sides.
Yeah, this is less likely they're just saying don't do it. There's more likely don't do it now. Things are really sensitive. Just hold up.
Hold off for a minute.
Just hold up.
Almost there. Almost
You're going a bit quick.
All right.
Moving on. The Olympic Committee has told global sports bodies not to host events in Indonesia. So this is following some reporting that we did, I think, last week on Indonesia. This follows Indonesia refusing visas to Israeli gymnasts for the World Artistic Gymnastic Champions, also known as Worlds, in Jakarta. So that's not related to Olympics, by the way. So it's a completely different body. But in response to that, the Olympic Committee is now saying no sports bodies should host events in Indonesia. Indonesians on our blacklist, I guess.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So that's what they're
I
trying
like
to
the way
do.
you said black.
They're not black in Indonesia.
No, it's an echolalia joke. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. I
just
didn't get it. I'm
echolalia.
sorry.
It's fine.
I'm sorry. Anyway, the IOC says athletes must be allowed to compete regardless of nationality, and it's freezing any talks of Indonesia hosting future Olympic events. Jakarta had been floating a bid for the 2036 Olympics, so they're probably out there running there for now, as long as they hold up their visa ban, I guess. But I just wanted to go, because I looked into this, because I had actually speculated this last week, I think, when we reported on this, whether or not the Olympic Committee had done this themselves. So, there's some off, just one-off sort of incidents where individual athletes were banned or warned for political protests, such as kneeling, raising fists, or wearing badges. South Africa was outright banned for 28 years for racial segregation.
I mean,
Which yeah, I was speculating on whether or not they did that, but that shows how hypocritical they are. The Olympic Committee did that. They banned South Africa from participating for 28 years, almost 30 years. But they're saying, and it's pretty, and it was an apartheid state, and that's why. That's why they did it.
Yeah.
Which Israel is. That's undisputed. That's fucking
So-
undisputed.
what you're telling me is the IOC is Zionist, racist, and probably fascist?
Maybe
If they're siding with, if this, I don't know. My little antennas go up anytime
I mean,
someone's.
it raises an eyebrow for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and there's other instances of hypocrisy as well. Like they've done it similarly for Russia.
Oh yeah.
Well, after
King
the
checks.
invasion of Ukraine, essentially.
Yeah.
They were going to outright ban them essentially, but then they're like, okay, we'll do it like under like you can come in under a banner, like no banner, so the athletes can still
so like
compete.
you're allowed here, but you're not allowed to like promote your country.
Exactly, yeah. So which is kind of just the same thing, really, I guess. Also, they suspended Afghanistan under Taliban rule in 1999 as well, completely. Although they haven't done it now in 2021 whilst the Taliban's there.
Huh.
So
interesting.
Fuck yeah. They're just hypocrites. They're not consistent.
No, not at all.
But that leads into our next story. Taiwanese boxer Lin Yu-ting wins gold after gender gaslighting. So Lin Yu-ting, for those who don't know, a cisgendered woman, which I think would confuse a lot of people the way that this is all fucking reported on, but this is a cisgendered woman, drew global attention during the 2024 Paris Olympics when some federations questioned her eligibility to compete in women's boxing. She won gold in the 60 kg category on Wednesday at Taiwan's National Games in her first ever event since the Olympics. Under the World Boxing's newly introduced foreign policy, fighters over 18 who want to participate in the women's category need to take I guess it's just the women's? That's weird if it is. Need to take a one-off PCR, which they test on like their genetics, I guess their chromosomes, I think.
Yeah, it's a chromosomal test.
Chromosome test, yeah. Lynn had planned to compete at the World Championships in Liverpool in September and agreed to undergo a compulsory genetic sex test. Despite submitting her results to World Boxing, she still had not received a response, and that put on hold her participation in future international competitions. Fuck knows why. What the fuck is going on with the testing at these places, by the way, where they get literally someone who is born a woman? Like, this is what you guys want. You're getting what you want, which is a fucking cis woman, but you're fucking it up somehow, and you're like, nah, she's trans, she's a man. Look at her, she must be a man.
I mean, I literally had to stop talking to my stepmother and my step-grandma because of the whole fucking, I've forgotten her name already, from the Olympics.
It
the
was,
boxer.
yeah, I got
Imani
that here
Khalif?
too. Yeah,
Imani?
that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, this is why transphobia is bad, because it doesn't just harm trans people. It is harming so many cis women. Like, I've spent my life being surrounded by, I guess, for lack of a better, women that look more like men. I've also been around men who look super gay and kind of girly and turn out to be straight, which confuses me, but you know what? They fucking exist. Like, it's just such a waste of fucking time. It's creating hatred and vitriol that, like, by the time the person proves themselves, the damage has been done, and you can't really take back a lot of it because people never hang around to hear the fucking end of the story. They hear the headline, and then that, like, I am sure there are people who will, for the rest of their life, be so sure with their conviction that, like, Imani was a man, or that, you know, Yu-ting was a man. Like, it's just...
And it's not just
So
even
fucking
gender discrimination either. It's like, you know, Nazi Germany, you just label someone a Jew, you don't fucking like them and get them fucking thrown in jail or ostracized. Same thing with the communist blacklisting, just accuse someone of being a communist. I guess it's the same thing in like the Canary Islands or shit or whatever, Seychelles, where you just accuse someone of being a witch or shaman or what the fuck ever that was.
Witch.
Yeah, you're a witch. So yeah, and then they need to do a fucking whole court trial to exonerate themselves. I'm not a fucking witch, guys. They don't exist.
Well, I think it's also stupid because if you think about it, it's like, okay, so just because your eyes think that that's not a woman, this person has to go through genetic fucking testing.
Yeah.
At that point, maybe you should just genetic test every single person in sport.
True. Yeah.
You want to fucking make those categories? You can have. What you're going to find out, though, is you're not just going to have an XX and an XY category, because, fun fact, chromosomes, like everything, are weird and fucky, and some people have weird ones. There are people who have
chromosome papers.
XX chromosomes thinking they have XY chromosomes their whole life. Like, it's just... Nature's weird, and it does weird shit, and just assuming because your eyes... Like, no.
Also, you're right, Kiwi Bear, Olympics do suck. There's so many more issues than even just this. They're just environmental impacts. They come build a shitty fucking village that they say is gonna like be permanent or something and bring a whole lot of tourism, and it just becomes fucking a shithole that degrades and abandoned.
No one fucking uses it for anything. Like,
and just a waste of money. It's like it's basically a money funneling situation. Just. The rich,
it's also
probably.
Just a weird dick measuring contest at the end of it, really, when you put bring it down to the base. But yeah, it's bullshit, and people.
If there was a meme about it, James, send it to Magenta on Discord, because we need memes.
Yeah, I didn't do my job, and Rogers won't let me fucking forget about it.
Yeah, I hate them. Anyway. White House website posts topless pic of a trans woman in an attempt to revise history. On the 24th of October, the White House's website's major events timeline was updated to include a claim that Joe Biden / Kamala Harris's administration hosts transsexuals at the White House in 2023. And they established the Transgender Day of Visibility on the same day as Easter Sunday in 2024. This claim, by the way, is factually incorrect. Transgender Day of Visibility was created in 2009 and is always on March 31st, so it's just a coincidence. I guess it landed on the same day as Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just completely incorrect there. Alongside the timeline entry... Oh, by the way, I love this one too. Cocaine discovered. That's...
Yeah. So funny.
Anyway, alongside the timeline entry, the website used a photo of trans influencer Rose Montoya at a White House Pride event, which described by the White House as inappropriate and disrespectful. Which also, why the fuck did they post it? I don't fucking know if it was so inappropriate and disrespectful. Like, that's
also, like, they have a fucking president who grabs women by the pussy. Like,
true.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe if she was grabbing her own pussy, that might be the problem. It's the wrong thing to grab. But also had titties.
Anyway, this update comes amid the administration's controversial decision to demolish part of the White House, the East Wing. So this is all kind of coming, suspected to be a part of the cover-up of the White House East Wing bullshit for a new ballroom, which is drawing criticism for cost, lack of oversight, and symbolism.
Yeah, that's right, the fucking ballroom.
Yeah. This is all seen as sort of a distraction. This also reflects other historical revisions recently from the current administration, including references to the Tuskegee Airmen and women Air Force service pilots in the U.S. Air Force, scrubbing of diversity and identity-related content in national parks, public lands related to women, tribal disability, race, and ethnicity from signage, online pages, and exhibits, as well as alterations of exhibits in the Smithsonian, or exhibits that degrade or divide Americans by race, gender, etc., and also references to Donald Trump's 2 impeachments, which were taken down at the beginning of his presidency as well.
But he categorizes people by their race and gender.
I'm allowed to do it. I'm the emperor. I'm the king. I can do what I want.
Oh,
you guys can't do it. You can't divide. You cannot divide.
Oh, he needs a fucking throat punch.
Yeah, let's take a break from this guy for now.
I'm done with him.
Let's go back to Peru. As we remember, Peru were doing some protests. State of emergency has been declared. I guess
Sorry.
Peru test, yeah. So a state of emergency has been declared in Peru's capital, Lima, amid protests. Interim President Jose Heri, I guess it's Heri, not Geri,
Yeah.
has suspended key civil liberties for 30 days in Lima and Callao, deploying troops alongside police. He cites crime and unrest after youth-led protests left 1 dead and roughly 100 plus injured. Yeri, who took office after Congress impeached the previous president, has declared a 30-day state of emergency in Lima and neighboring Callao. The emergency allows deployment of the military alongside police, so this is very sort of US-like, I guess, at the moment. Suspends some constitutional rights, including freedom of assembly, effectively banning protests. So I guess the anti-crime plan is no protesting, I guess, is their main focus here.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. This dictatorship is just so these are like some of the leaders with the protests movement here that you're seeing. So these aren't members of the government, and this is a quote from them. "This is a dictatorship disguised as a democracy," said Jorge Camlet of Generation Z Collective, a cool name, planning to defy the state of emergency, stating, "We'll march as many times as necessary." So this shit ain't gonna stop them, and they're gonna continue on as planned. So fucking go for it, guys. Viva la revolution, I guess, as they say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's hope just they don't fucking open fire, I suppose.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, Bolivia has ended over 20 years of socialist rule. Rodrigo,
crazy.
yeah, I know. So Rodrigo Paz Perea of the Christian Democratic Party won Bolivia's presidential runoff on the 19th with about 55% of the vote. He won 32% in the first round, defeating conservative ex-president Jorge Tuto Kirionga, I don't know, something like that. Who cares? He sounds like a piece of shit.
Quiroga, maybe?
I don't know. No one wants him.
Yeah, some dickhead.
Yeah. He's an ex-president. Not the recent ex-president. He was ex-president like 2009 or some shit. This is Bolivia's first presidential runoff ever, and the first time in nearly 2 decades there was no left-wing MAS or Movimiento El Socialismo candidate in the final round. MAS imploded internally and got wiped out in Congress. Essentially, they had like a party split thing that went on. Paz brands himself as a capitalist. He brands his platform as capitalism for all. Capitalism for all, guys. Every man a king. He wants to keep social programs but open the economy, so I guess that's somewhat promising. He doesn't want to cut social programs, but maybe he does, who knows. Seek close ties with the US, gradually roll back subsidy-heavy state-led economics. He also inherits inflation, fuel shortages, and collapsing gas revenue. He'll take office in the 8th of November, but lacks a fair majority, so he'll have to build coalitions or risk instability. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, but South America's been having a hard time recently.
Yeah, no, they really have. There seems to be a lot of fires going on almost around the world.
So a lot going on in South America. Apparently, Bolivia used to be South America's fastest growing economy, but has nearly depleted its foreign currency reserves after years of heavy subsidies and underinvestment in its gas industry. The vote doesn't appear to be a wholesale rejection of leftist policies, however, but rather a rejection of MAS's specific vision, marketed by concentration of power, corruption, accusations, and failure to deliver. Essentially, they had a big corruption scandal thing that divided the party split, and yeah, so that's sort of more what's happened, and they've just been like, hey, socialism
kind of
failed
fallen
us.
apart. Yeah,
but look, you know, that might leave a bad taste in their mouth in some regards. MAS often described itself as the 21st century socialist party. However, analysts argue its policies were less about expanding socialism, more about sustaining political dominance via subsidies, populist spendings, and patronage, which kind of sounds like a Muldoon situation to me, honestly. It's very similar sounding to Muldoon, I feel. a lot of the situation, you know. Or by the way, the new president, Peru, is 58.
Damn, young.
I guess young in the grand scheme of things. That's
what I
still
mean.
not young. It's still not
Yeah, but young for
It's
a
sad
leader.
that we have to call that young.
I know. I mean, if he died, you'd say he was young. But
Yeah.
anyway,
But yeah.
let's go to Venezuela.
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 Yeah, so shit's going on in Venezuela. U.S. military force positioned off Venezuela's coast. So actually, here we have a bit of a map. I think if you scroll down of some of the strikes that we're going to discuss.
Yeah.
As of the 25th of October, the U.S. has publicly acknowledged at least 6 strikes in the Caribbean maritime zone, including an incident with what Trump called a drug-carrying submarine. Keep going down.
Okay.
Keep going down. Keep going down. There it is.
Ah, here we go.
Yeah, little map. By the way, a drug carrying submarine. Like, what the fuck?
That does sound, yeah, that is such a, that's why I was like, kind of, I was getting lost. I'm like, what's a drug? This is this fucking some weird GTA?
I don't know.
GTA 6?
That's you know, like, that's something you would see in, like, Saints Row or something. Like, we got a
that
drug
would be Saints
submarine. You know?
100%.
We gotta smuggle.
Yeah, now you gotta do this mission underwater.
Yeah, and you can blow up all the American fucking tanks and shit. Like, I don't know. Since early September, the U.S. has carried out at least 10 lethal strikes on vessels alleged to be drug smuggling in the Caribbean and Pacific, resulting in dozens of deaths under the logic of narco-terrorism, as they're branding it. Yep. These narcos, they're also terrorists now. Critics say these strikes violate sovereignty and maritime law, since the U.S. has provided little publicly verifiable evidence of its vessels' illicit cargo or combat status. Regional governments are raising alarms. Gustavo Petro of Colombia, who we'll get more into soon, has accused the U.S. of marauding a fisher during a previous strike and violating Colombian territorial waters. The U.S. is reportedly preparing land strike operations with the naval military buildup in the Caribbean and South Atlantic. It has authorized covert operations in neighboring states. The U.S. Gerald R. Ford, U.S.'s most advanced aircraft carrier, but perhaps its lamest sounding one. Everyone loves President Ford, everyone's favorite president. Has been deployed to the Caribbean near Venezuela, accompanying by a strike group of warships, drones, bombers, and special forces. U.S. heavy bombers, B-1s, flew training missions off Venezuela's coast, in addition to jets, drones, and a submarine are confirmed to be operating in the region. The buildup includes estimates of roughly 10,000 U.S. troops, 8 warships, and other assets under Caribbean/Latin American Command. So, yeah, they're really getting ready to just... The president of peace is getting ready for war, it seems.
Yeah,
I love
no.
peace. I'm the peaceful president. Give me a peace. Give me a peace prize.
Nobel
Peace
Peace
prize, please. But I'm also going to declare war in the name of peace. In the name of peace. Maduro denounced the deployment and strikes as a fabricated and said the U.S. is fabricating a war. Venezuela and many analysts say the buildup is less about drugs and more about applying pressure to Maduro for regime change and or securing Venezuelan oil interests. So basically no da. Like yeah, this isn't looking great. This is oh shit, I just changed my headphone settings. Hold on 1 second. Don't want ambient sound. All right, there we go. Noise cancelling. Yeah. I don't know what to say about this. This just sucks. Oh wait, hold up. Go back before we go on to Sarah Payne. But there's a video here that I just want to play. Like the first, like if you go up a bit, first like 10 seconds or so. It's just
I opened
Trump sounding dumb.
It as an image, so I'll just share back to here. And it was the video of Trump.
Yeah. This one. Just play it for like the first 10. I don't know. You'll know when to stop.
Are declaring war against these cartels, and Congress is likely to approve of that process. Why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay, we're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead.
Like it dead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
There you go. They're just gonna be like dead, okay?
They're
We're
just
just
gonna
gonna
be
kill
like-
them.
Dead. What?
Give that man a peace prize.
Oh my god.
We're just gonna murder
Honestly.
people. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just old man Hitler. That's all this is at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's like I feel like everyone's laughing, and I mean I am laughing too, but it's not funny, haha. It's funny existential crisis.
I know, I'm laughing because this is just fucked kind of shit.
Oh yeah,
I
the
don't know what
fact
else
that the fucking president of America is just saying shit like this, and everyone's like, yeah, that's cool. And what's worse is our fucking government are in their fucking pocket.
Yep. Let's
And that's what
cozy up
makes
to
it
America.
worse.
Come on, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just blatantly a fascist state. Like they're doing fascist wars now. They're doing regime change. They're
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that they haven't been doing that before, but this has got to be one of the most blatant, non-deniable ones. Like since probably at least the Iraq War, I think. With the whole weapons of mass destruction thing. Like I think it's the worst one since then, probably.
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just it's concerning. It's concerning because we're seeing our prime minister act like this. We're seeing their president act like this. We're seeing Gen Z fucking burn down buildings. Like, I feel like in maybe not even probably 100 years from now, probably like 50 to 60 years from now, they're going to have a name for what we're in right now. They're
I don't
going
know
to
what's
have a
gonna
name.
be. Yeah.
And I don't know. They're not Nazis this time. Are they just fascists? I don't know. But
Or are they something new?
something worse.
I don't know, but yeah. All right, let's go on to Sarah Payne here. By the way, this might give us a bit of hope. But this is a clip from her with Dorkesh Patel, who has her quite frequently on her show. Those who don't know, she is I think a professor at the U.S. Naval College, or maybe former professor. She's been around a long time. Big well of knowledge. She does lectures, and they are fantastic to listen to if you're a fan of history, especially war history, that kind of thing. She's fascinating. She was in like Soviet Russia during like the fall of the Soviet era. She's been like on the ground in like a lot of these places. Tankies hate her because she speaks mean about China and Putin and stuff like that. But yeah, she's just got a nice little thing here about the future of the US, essentially, compared to China, and how there might be a balance shift coming. But let's just listen to her.
All right.
Is because this country, and one of the reasons the Great Depression gets so bad is because this country doesn't want to act as the lender of last resort, which is what Britain had done in the past, but it couldn't after World War I. It had been bankrupted, and our country's irresponsible. These problems are on the other side of the sea, and we think, okay, America first and whatever, and we're going to raise tariffs and things, and all we do is tank the global system. Whereas if you're the lender of last resort, you're going to put money into the system as it's collapsing to prevent it from collapsing, so that it can so that it can rebound. And that's why it's important to do that. And yeah, it's expensive, but boy, a Great Depression is a lot more expensive. So they're different problems.
Is there a lender of last resort today?
Isn't that the problem? Well, that's what the IMF and things are about. But it used to be that this country was willing to take on these burdens of last resort, and in the area of nuclear weapons, nuclear shield, right? And we're trying to shed these things right now. And we shall see. Well, it'll, at bare minimum, it'll make us the sort of the irrelevant power instead of the essential power, because Europe is going to reorganize itself, and they have the institutions to do it. And the United States used to be the leader of the West. Well, it's going back home to Europe. Europe's going to lead the West. They invented it. And they have an extensive set of institutions to do this, and they're already starting to marginalize us by putting out feelers to set up trade agreements with Asian countries, with South American countries. It'll take them a while to do this. Once they do it, we will be on the outside of it if we don't change our minds. And they're going to get stronger institutionally. And what is it? Churchill said something about allies. The only thing worse than working with allies is trying to survive without them. That you're better off with lots of friends going after bullies in the world than you are by yourselves. And we'll find ourselves by ourselves. And other countries have tried to tangle with China all by themselves. Japan did it when China was an undeveloped country. It did not work well. It did. You want to have friends when you do this. But we're making pivotal errors, and we will pay for them.
Maybe this is a subtle but recurring disagreement between us.
Sweet.
But yeah, that's great discussion they have there. By the way, I've watched the entire thing and very, very interesting. I think that was her 5th lecture that she did about the Japan essentially becoming, a great imperial power and then falling. Go listen to it if you want. It's a few hours long. Very fascinating. She's a well of knowledge, but yeah, just I love what she said there about like it's you need friends, and that's how you're gonna. Because that's how we survived World War II. It wasn't because one of us was the stronger nation or whatever, but we all came together as a collective. And essentially, these states on their own, they couldn't survive isolated, or it was never going to happen. And essentially, that's why we don't want to cozy up to the United States. We don't want to alienate ourselves from the rest of the world. We want, cooperation, communication. Those are the only things that are going to keep us afloat, make us survive.
It's also what we're good at. We've always been good at that, but now obviously these fucking not a fucking personality or just charisma between any of the fucking.
Oh, her name's Sarah Payne.
Yes. So I think this is called America Will No Longer Lead the West. Sarah Payne. I can check. I'll check the YouTube link into the chat since I've got it open, and I guess. Should we move on to the next one while I do that?
Yep, absolutely. Those who are like fascinated by World War II stuff, she's done a really interesting one on World War II as well. But she also says she's sick about talking about World War II, so you're probably not going to see many more things about that. It's like, I'm sick of it. Anyway, I've titled this one, Friendship Ended with Colombia. Argentina is USA's new best friend.
What did that lady just say? What did she just fucking say?
What did she just say? So, for 20 years, Colombia has basically been Washington's closest security partner in Latin America. Billions in US aid went to what was known as Plan Colombia, a counterinsurgency, anti-drug operation, military training, and surveillance initiative. President Gustavo Petro, former Marxist guerrilla, by the way, I don't know, I'm kind of into it. Was elected in 2022, calling the war on drugs a failure that only punished the poor, which, fucking preach. War on drugs failure only punished the poor. He ended US-backed policies such as militarized crackdowns, criticizing the support of Israel, and saying Trump deserves jail. So, yeah. Fucking based.
Nice.
Trump called Petro called Petro a drug leader, accused him of enabling cartels, vowing to cut aid and hit Colombia with tariffs. In response, Colombia recalled its ambassador and is threatening legal action in U.S. courts, whilst Trump frames Colombia's cartels as ISIS/Al-Qaeda of the Western Hemisphere. They're ISIS, they're Al-Qaeda, we're gonna kill them, gonna kill everyone. Colombia called this an insult to its sovereignty, saying recent U.S. maritime strikes in the Caribbean killed civilians, not narco-terrorists. Petro says the US is acting like it can bomb Latin America boats without evidence, which, it has been doing. So, I mean, it kind of can. I guess it could just do it and get away with it. Whilst no one speaks out about this, whilst no one stops this, yeah, they're going to do it, guys. So, tell your friends, tell your family. Petro called Trump rude and arrogant about Colombia, saying he said the U.S. is acting illegally by carrying out cross-border strikes without consent, and warned Colombia would challenge the U.S. actions in international courts. Trump doubling down compared to Latin America. Oh, I'm just repeating myself here. As of the 24th, the U.S. Treasury has slapped sanctions on Petro, his family, and Interior Minister. Most likely, these sanctions will ultimately be pointless, however, as Petro is term limited and slated to step down in 2026 anyway. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Guess we'll see how that goes.
But I've also got an additional thing here that, well, because we missed this the last few weeks, I got a little
what did we
speech
miss?
down here. Just hopefully it's still
Oh,
there.
okay, that is the one I.
Yeah, it's just a video. This was back when the UN. This is when back when Winnie gave his speech, but this guy gave a nice little speech at the UN that we just listened to a bit of.
Yep.
Colombia. Thousands of peasants are massacred in Colombia by politicians who were senators, who were presidents, who were ministers that were bribed and on the payroll of the drug mafia. And at the same time, they were allies of the extreme right based in Florida, the United States, and now allies of the Trump administration. They've been allied for decades with drug lords, cocaine drug lords in Colombia. They were allies, and so they led this anti-drug policy from Washington. I don't know if Trump even knows that his foreign policy towards Colombia, Venezuela, and towards the Caribbean is based on advice from Colombians who are allies of the cocaine
That's
mafia.
the US
I
walking
myself
out.
denounce these politicians, including the paramilitaries, drug traffickers, naming them by their names in the Congress of Colombia when I was senator. And many times they wanted to kill me because of that. And they did not want me to become president. They wanted me to shut up. And now they don't want another progressive government to be reelected. That is why I've been personally decertified, and they have.
But yeah, we can stop it there. But yeah, that gives you a sense of where that whole anti-narco strategy went. It just led to bully boy behavior, basically funding a bit of a Gestapo sort of thing going on, which again this all came up in my Atlas thing when going all the way back to the great experiment they did in Chile, where they did a bit of a coup d'etat there, put Pinochet in charge, and sort of had a knock-on effect with neoliberalism throughout the entire continent, which helped at the end of the day fuel these cartels actually, which also ironically sort of gives the anarcho-capitalist dream of like the free market is just that's what you get. It's the cartels. That's what you get. You get fucking gangs and shit when you get an ultimately unrestricted free market shit like that. But yeah, this all goes back to the neoliberal Atlas agenda, Milton Friedman,
Yay.
all that
We're
shit.
gonna probably have to do an updated. Should probably do some updated videos on
It's
those
just-
motherfuckers.
All this shit's so dead. It's all connected. That's
I
what I'm saying,
know.
people. It's all
I
connected.
know. Honestly, I was talking to my best friend yesterday, and I was trying to explain to him this stuff, especially I was explaining to him, that it dates back to the 1800s, and he's like, "Oh," and then I was talking about teal, and he's like, "Oh, but I'm sure they probably didn't plan to do that," and I'm like, "No, I don't know how to fucking tell you. It is all connected. They are the Illuminati. They just made that up." So that we think that that's just cuckoo
It's
talk.
no coincidence Milton Friedman literally advised Pinochet. He literally advised him. One of the key sort of figures in and around the whole Atlas formation. So anyway,
Exactly.
and neoliberal agenda. So yeah, but just for a bit of a recap for those that might not have gotten it all. So here's a recap of what's going on in South America. South American civilians are being killed in the name of U.S. counter-narcotics. The U.S. has already greenlit covert ops, including lethal ones in Venezuela and maritime strikes in the Caribbean, saying it's targeting gangs and traffickers. They're preparing for a political regime war in Venezuela. They're antagonizing Colombia, attempting to sway elections in Argentina. By the way, there's early results of that today showing Milei's party is probably going to win. Peru is militarizing its capital under the banner of fighting crime to suppressed protests. Bolivia has gone all in on capitalism, wanting to cozy up to the US for economic help, and Haiti is under effective gang rule and now under international sanctions pressure, with half of its population at risk of starvation. So
Everything's going good in South America,
it's
guys.
going great, guys. Fucking neoliberalism has worked so well.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not destroying every fucking country that it touches.
Well, we can blame socialism on Bolivia, I guess. To be fair.
Yes.
So that's one.
That is true. That is true.
But all the
That is
people who
true.
hate Marxism and communism, that's the one that sticks out. See, socialism doesn't work. It's like we're showing you all these other places that are capitalists, and we're showing you they do not work.
Yeah.
It's corruption's the issue.